Have you ever wondered where the famous Colombian coffee comes from? I journeyed to the town of Salento in the coffee region of Colombia to better understand what makes it world-renowned. To start the day, I had some breakfast at a vegetarian restaurant in Armenia. I ordered a tofu scramble and some empanadas for the road. I then headed to the bus terminal and caught a 45-minute bus to Salento. The bus was extremely frequent and costed 80 cents for the trip. Salento! People say that Salento is the most beautiful town of the coffee region, though I can't give an opinion as I did not visit the others. However, Armenia was an amazing city, my favorite in Colombia. So we have arrived here in Salento. There's about an hour until our coffee tour starts, so I'm just gonna walk around the town a little bit and see what Salento has to offer. It looks beautiful so far. Salento is also the smallest town in the coffee zone, with a population of just under 10,000 residents. Salento is a world-renowned location known for its coffee. It is known to have one of the best, if the best, coffee in the world. I wandered through the town without a set intention other than to explore a bit before my tour, and then something caught my eye: vegan ice cream. Hola, buena. ¿Tienes helado vegano? ¿Helado vegano?
Sí. Leche de soya, soy milk.
¿Y de cuál sabor es? ¿Cómo? Cualquiera. Y bueno, ¿cuál es tu más?
Estos son los helados en esta presentación. Puedes pedir de cualquiera de estos con leche de soya. Esta es la caña, esta presentación.
Okay. Todos pueden ser veganos.
O sea, todos son veganos. O sea, esta es la presentación y el leche vegano, ¿no? Leche de soya. Okay. Y cualquiera de estos puedes pedir.
Gracias. Mira, es pistachio. ¿Sí? Para ir. Sí, gracias. This restaurant had a cool vibe. You could write on the walls, and of course, I put my YouTube channel up there. By the way, subscribe if you haven't yet, and hit that like button so that you can help out the algorithm. Alright, so I got this pistachio vegan soy ice cream, and the guy at the restaurant told me that there is a place with a nice view up this hill here. So we're gonna go check out the view and eat our ice cream. Hola, buenas. ¿Tienen imanes?
Sí, amorcito, acá está.
Gracias.
Ya están todos estos y están los de acá también.
¿Cuánto va a ir esto?
De esos a 5.
Ok, mira esto.
Este. Y de estos acá están los viajes por la montaña, están los viajes a caballo, está el Willis, o sea, cosa de la región. Y son pintados con pirograbador, o sea, son pintados por un artista.
Ah, ok, son bonitos.
Lo mismo mire la belleza. Hermosísimo.
Sí, se ve muy bonito. La verdad, mira eso también, los dos.
¿Cuál?
Esto.
Ese es este es
cacao, ¿no?
El cacao. Mira, bebé, el imán, ve. No se deja poner ahí, bebé.
¿No tienes algo para...?
No, sino que hacen interferencia a los imanes.
Pero vean. Puedes echar algo adentro.
Ya al empacarlo ya no, claro.
Ah, bueno.
Entonces, ¿estos dos?
Sí. Gracias. The road to the viewpoint was a bit steep, but it was definitely worth it. At the top, there were a ton of restaurants where you could enjoy a meal with the mountains in the background. It was very serene. All right, we are here sitting with this beautiful view. Elian's doing some tummy time. Here's the ice cream. I totally didn't even think about the fact that it would be ice cream with coloring in it. And I know coloring is really, really bad for the health. I'm conflicted. I'm just gonna probably just eat a tiny bit of it. I should have just gotten fruit or something instead. see how it tastes. That's completely artificial. It does not taste so good. This is not what I expected when I heard pistachio ice cream. I think I'm just gonna eat the pistachios on top. I might just waste it, to be honest, because it's really not good for the health at all. So yeah, I just threw that ice cream out. Not worth the risk, and it didn't even taste good. We're just about pulling up where our tour is. Hi, I'm here for the tour.
Oh yeah, cool. Just you? Right, so there are two commercial types of coffee in the world. Oh, sorry, are you all coffee drinkers? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We'll have some coffee to drink at the end of the tour. It's great, and we're going to roast a bit of coffee on the copper platter, so I'll run through the whole process for you. Now, most coffee is roasted dark and shiny like that one there, in the sample tray there. We're not going to roast coffee like that. We roast coffee to more a chocolate colour like this. Okay. If coffee tastes different, it will taste more like a tea than an actual coffee. Two commercial types of coffee. 4 or 5 types of coffee generally. There's only really 2 commercial types of coffee. And your 2 commercial types of coffee, you've probably heard of them, Robusta and Arabica. Yeah? Yeah. Robusta coffee has loads of caffeine and not so much taste. And Arabica has loads of taste and not so much caffeine. Go down to the farm. The farm's about 400 meters away, but it's quite steep going down and quite steep coming up. So with the baby, I don't know. Do you want to do it, or what are you
How's the
thinking?
path?
Pardon?
How's the path?
Not great. It's unpaved, and it's sort of like there's a lot of loose rocks and stuff like that. Come in, please, Kai. Yeah. Oh, welcome. I remember you.
Yeah.
Come in, please. You're back. Cool. Right.
Wow.
Yeah, he's Dulux dog.
Yeah.
Top of the tree's been cut off. When you do that, it grows outwards rather than upwards. Yeah. Now it's a continuous process. So if you have a look, this is right. You have your new growth. These are flowers that haven't opened yet. There's a couple of buds here, and then you get these. These are called coffee cherries. Now there are varietals of coffee that juice red. There's varietals of juice yellow. Okay. Wikipedia tells me it's orange and pink, but I've never seen orange or pink. But if it's on Wikipedia, it must be true, right? Everything on the internet is always true. That there is coffee cherry, okay? Now at this point in time, doesn't much look like coffee, does it? Now, if you take the coffee cherry and you give it a little squeeze, hey, 2 coffee beans inside, okay? Now, this is not a true representative sample. If you look, that guy is more yellow than that guy.
Yeah.
That's a bad bean, that's a good bean.
Oh, I would have said the opposite.
No. Right, so hang on a second, let me just... We're going to use this guy a little bit later to demonstrate stuff. I'll take another one here. Right, let's have a look. There you go. 2 normal beans inside. Okay?
Okay.
Right, now 95% of the time you get 2 beans inside. What happens is both sides get fertilised, they grow next to each other. These are called flatberries. You can see one side is flat. Yeah? 1% of the time you get 3 beans inside. They're not special or interesting enough to deserve a name. Oh, sad, isn't it? But there are coffee aficionados that will tell you that peaberry coffee is better than flatberry coffee. Okay? Now the basic argument goes that you have, when you have 1 bean inside, it's better from all of the nutrients that have gone in. Okay. When you had 2, they've had to share the nutrients. Okay. So the 1 is going to be better than the 2. Okay. Now it's one of these things. It's a bit like Trump. The people that believe, and the people that do not believe. There's almost no one in the middle. Okay. So he pays your money, he takes your choice. Okay. Right. Okay. Peaberry coffee is available, but you see, when you have a coffee cherry, you never know. We're going to have 1, 2, or 3 beans inside. So all the peaberries have to be pulled out by hand. So that means more labour intense, so it's more expensive. Okay, so peaberry coffee is always more expensive than normal coffee. Yeah. Okay. Now, Second thing, do you see how wet and slimy those beans are?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay? And that slime's a form of sugar. Okay? Now, once you have a coffee cherry on the tree, there are 3 paths you can go down. They'll all give you coffee to drink. They give you a different looking coffee. They give you a different tasting coffee. Okay? Now, Colombia is number 3 in the world for producing coffee. It went Brazil, then Vietnam, then Colombia. But Colombia is the world's biggest producer of what they call washed Arabica coffee. So what you do, you take these beans, you throw them into water, and you soak them like with lentils or rice. And you soak them for 12 to 36 hours. All the sugar comes out of the coffee into the water. And then once you've got all your sugar out, you put them in the sun to dry and you dry them.
Okay.
And that gives you washed Arabica coffee.
Alright.
Now generally, washed Arabica coffee is considered to be the purest form of coffee because the sugar has no effect on the actual roasting process. Okay? So
What effect does the sugar usually have on the roasting?
It would depend on how you do, but it usually makes the coffee a little bit more acidic. Yeah, right. But it would depend a little bit. But as I say, right. Okay. So one thing you can do is you wash the Arabica coffee. Yeah. Second thing you do, you take the skin off the coffee. Skin's a good source of nutrients. You can dry them, make an aromatic tea out of it. You can also throw them away. Good source of nutrients.
Do you still have caffeine in it if you make a tea with the skin?
It hasn't got much. Most of the caffeine is actually in the beans.
Okay.
That's why insects and stuff like that will attack the outer skin and leave the beans almost entirely intact. You see what I mean? Most animals know better than to play with caffeine. Okay, it's only humans that are stupid enough to play with it. Okay, right. So what happens? Second thing you do, you take the skin off the coffee like we did. You take these beans and you throw them into the sun to dry. Yeah. Now what happens then is you end up with something that looks different. It looks like honey roasted peanuts. You know the off-yellow colour you get with honey roasted peanuts? It looks like that, and that's called honey processed coffee. So one thing you can do is you can wash the coffee. Second thing you can do is you honey process the coffee. Yeah. Last thing is the lazy man's option. Okay, you don't do much. Okay, if you're really, really lazy, you let them dry and go black on the tree. Yeah, you put a couple of nets on the tree, you shake this a couple of times, all the beans fall off, then you put them in the sun to dry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you can do
If you're slightly more energetic, you pick them when they're nice and red, and you put those in the sun to dry. Okay. Now, they'll dry and go black in the sun. Okay. Now that used to be called unwashed Arabica coffee. But let's be perfectly honest, no one's going to go to an expensive coffee shop in London, Paris, New York, see unwashed Arabica coffee on the menu and go, great, I think I'll have some unwashed Arabica coffee today. Yeah? Not particularly marketable. So what happened is the marketing men got hold of it. So don't call it unwashed Arabica coffee anymore because no one's going to buy that. Now they call it naturally processed coffee.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay, naturally processed. Hell, got to be good for you. It's been naturally processed. Yeah? Okay?
Yeah.
Right, so the 3 processes, you can wash it, you can honey process it, you can naturally process it. They'll give you different looking coffee and a slightly different tasting coffee. Yeah? Okay? Making some sense. Yeah? Now, we're going to put these guys into some water. Colombia is the biggest producer in the world of washed Arabica coffee, so we're going to wash the coffee. Okay? Now, when we throw these guys into water, nothing exciting happens. It'd be quite cool if they bubbled, frothed, you got some form of change colour, something interesting actually happened, but it doesn't. Okay, when you throw them into water, one of 2 things happen. They float on top of the water or they sink. Okay, now anything that floats on top of the water is a lower quality coffee. Okay, it's basically floating because it's light, means it's going to cook fast, means it's going to roast dark, lower quality coffee. Okay, better quality coffee sinks in the water, means it's more dense, means when you want to cook it, it cooks a bit slower, gives you more control over the roast. Okay, so basically anything that floats is what is called domestic coffee, and anything that sinks is what they call export quality coffee. Coffee is like agriculture all over the world. I mean, if you're a tomato farmer, you never eat your best tomatoes. If you're a tomato farmer, you sell your best tomatoes and you eat the rubbish.
So would you say that the coffee here that's sold is not as good as coffee?
It's changing. As I say, what's happening is historically all of the good coffee would be exported and Colombians would drink the dross.
Yeah.
But what's happening more and more is more tourists coming through expecting to drink a good cup of coffee.
Yeah.
And Colombians are travelling around the world. It's got easier for them to travel around the world. And they're going to a coffee shop in London, Paris, New York, seeing Colombian coffee on the menu, and they're all patriots, so they'll drink Colombian coffee in preference to anything else. Having a cup of Colombian coffee, tasting it, going, wow, this is really good. How come I can't drink coffee like this? Yeah. So for a number of reasons, it's starting to change. But historically, coffee, as I say, like agriculture all over the world, all the good stuff would have been exported. Now, believe it or not, Colombia actually, third biggest coffee producer in the world, Colombia imports coffee.
Oh.
They import low quality coffee because they don't produce enough low quality coffee themselves to satisfy the local market.
From Brazil or?
From all over. Yeah, yeah, they're sandflies. They're not. They don't actually contain anything bad. Okay, look at the arms. You see? Right, right. Yeah. So basically, partly Brazil, but mainly Peru, Chile, and Ecuador.
Okay.
And I think originally also Venezuela, but that's less common. Okay. Right. Okay. Now these are not only what you would turn into coffee to drink. These are also the seeds. So you can take these away and throw them away, and they will grow. Okay.
Okay.
Now, problem is they're nice and sugary at the moment, so the ants come and eat them. And normally, if you're putting coffee in the ground to grow, you would wash the sugar out, or you would let them dry in the sun.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go. I'll take the other skin, throw it away. I've got 4 beans here. I'm expecting 3 of them to sink. That one there, the yellow one here, to float on top. So let's go see if it actually happens. Right? Is it making some sense, guys? Yeah?
Yeah, it's interesting.
Cool.
Thank you.
I do a very Western style tour. I'll make you learn shit. Most of the tours here, they just show you what they show you what they do. Can't really explain why they do it. Can't do that. Have to know why. Okay, so this is coffee from lots of previous coffee tours. Okay. Some of this coffee, normally you'd soak the coffee for 12 to 36 hours. In principle, you can leave them underwater as long as the water's pretty pure, almost indefinitely, and they'll still grow. My point is that when I've got 4 beans or three beans like this, they ain't gonna. I can't do anything with 3.
Yeah.
I need more. Okay, so we'll throw these guys in. Okay, and see, 3 good ones, and the other one floats quite nicely on top. See?
Yeah.
Low quality coffee.
Yeah.
Okay. Still make coffee out of it. That's domestic coffee.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, now come through and have a look. Okay. Right, now have a look here. What we have. Ta-da! Right, what we have. This is washed coffee.
Okay.
So we've picked it off the tree. We've taken the skin off the coffee, soaked it in water, and then put it straight in the sun to dry. Okay, so this is washed Arabica coffee. Now, this can grow quite nicely. So this is the start of a coffee farm, and this is the end of a coffee farm. Okay. Now, if I'll take you, and I've been doing this too long. Right. Okay, have a look. See how round that guy is? There's your peaberry. See, a different shape, yeah? And there's your flatberry, okay? Ignore the sizes, they're different, but basically. Right, okay. So, this is the start and this is the end of a coffee farm, yeah?
Okay.
Okay, now, this is honey processed coffee. So we're taking the skin off the coffee.
Yeah.
We've let it dry in the sun and it ends up looking like this. Now, this will grow as well, quite happily. So this is the start, and you can sell this is the end. So start, end, yeah?
Yeah.
This is naturally processed coffee, okay? So we've let it dry on the tree, okay? Now when it's the right dryness, what they will do is they'll put it through a machine that will take that outer skin off, that dried black skin. It has to be just the right dryness, okay? If it's too dry, when it goes through the machine, the bean fragments. And if it's not dry enough, it bends a little bit and the black skin doesn't come off, okay? This can grow, but not so good. So usually this is just the end of a coffee farm. Yeah. So start, end. Yeah. Now. Right. So what you would do is you would take a sack of parchment coffee. It's called parchment coffee, or honey processed coffee, or naturally processed coffee. You take a sack of that into the local coffee merchant. Yeah. Okay. He's going to weigh the sack. That will tell him how much coffee is in the sack, and then he'll take a handful of 1, 2, 3, crush it with his or a couple of handfuls, crush it between his palms. He's seeing how dry the coffee is. Yeah.
Okay.
Now I'm going to take. I've got a bit of coffee here drying in the sun. Right, I'm going to take. No. Who will I take? I'll take you. Right. Okay. Now, have a look. That is parchment coffee. Okay. Now.
Does it like peanut, doesn't it?
It does look like peanuts, doesn't it? Now have a look. That skin has come off the coffee. Yeah. Now that skin has the look and feel of old-fashioned paper. Old-fashioned paper is called parchment or pergamene, and that skin has come off the coffee. Yeah. Okay. Now, underneath that, there's a thin membrane, and there's a bean there. Okay. This bean's not completely dry. That's why I'm putting it in the sun to dry. But if I give this just right, if this was the right dryness, a little flick and it would come off. The fact I have to scrape with my nail to get it off means there's moisture in this bean. It's not quite dry enough. Okay, that's why it's sitting in the sun waiting to dry. But have a look. You can see there's another skin coming off the coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now what I'm going to do is cheat and take one where it's been nice and dry. Okay, like that guy there. Okay.
Yeah.
Now that is called a green bean. That is what you roast.
Can you show me one more time? Which one was the Lulo plant?
Yeah, sure. The green and purple guy here. This big green and purple guy here.
Oh, okay.
You see it?
Yeah, there's no fruit on it right now.
No, it's too young. There's a. You can see there's some more small purple balls all along the top there. Yeah.
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 Those are the actual fruit.
Okay.
They're gonna get bigger and go yellow in front, right?
What's it called? Lola.
Lulo.
Lulu.
L-U. Come down. Anyway.
Lulu. Okay. I've heard of it.
I never seen it before Colombia either, but it's really good. There's so many fruits here that they don't have in other parts of the world.
Flavour then?
Is it sweet?
It's
No,
sour.
Lulu
Sour.
is quite sour. It needs some sugar. Well, I'm diabetic, so I'm not allowed sugar, but
I drink it without sugar, but I love sour things, so.
I quite like them as well.
Yeah.
But it's an amazing juice, okay? Now what we're going to do, this machine here, right, this machine here takes the skins off the coffee, okay? This is what a coffee merchant would use, okay? So, you go around this way, you put your parchment coffee in here, there's a paddle here that keeps the coffee moving around, it rubs against the grill, the skins come down, skins come down there, and that's your parchment, your green beans, yeah, okay? Now, at the moment, it's got a problem here. One of the little teeth here is broken. Well, badly bent anyway, not broken. So it spits beans out all over the place. Okay? So you can see there's one over there, and there's one over there, and bits and pieces like that. Now I've already used it this morning because beans go everywhere. I do a bit of preparation.
Right.
Like blue pizza, here's one I prepared earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Now, stop it, guys.
Oh, those are Lulos.
Pardon? That is a Lulu, yes.
Oh, so it's like,
Oh, it looks completely different.
it looks
Yeah.
like tomato. A little bit.
No, that's a tomato. That one is a tomato, but this is a Lulu. Actually, no, they're both Lulu.
There's also the fruto de tomate, which is a tomato fruit.
Yeah, which is disgusting, but anyway. It tastes like baby food, to be honest, but anyway.
It's like
right.
a sweet tomato.
Okay.
Right,
They
okay,
make
so
juice
what,
of it.
I just need to put a bit of coffee on here, so we'll get this sorted. Now that machine there, yeah, I did a coffee tour about, God, it must be about 10 years ago now.
Yeah.
Had a group of Serbs, 10 Serbs, yeah?
Okay.
And one of them asked, how do you take the skins, go from parchment coffee to green beans, yeah? So I was in a bit of a strange mood. So I said, well, we have a team of 5-year-olds and they've got nice small hands and they come in and they peel them all by hand. And for every 40 kilo sack of coffee, I give them a little bar of chocolate to share amongst themselves, not each, you know? Now, no one laughed, no one smiled, they all went, you thought I was serious. Well, oddly enough, I haven't had a team, I haven't had a group of Serbs come through since. Okay, but anyway, this goes to show, yeah, English humour. Right, so.
What's the cat's name?
Milo.
So,
So.
Hola, Milo.
Right, okay.
So there's like 80% of what you originally harvest goes to waste, right?
Pretty much, yes.
What do you do with that waste? Can it be
Well, the
repurposed?
skins go back into the soil. They're typically a good source. You can try the skins and make a tea out of it, but I personally don't like the tea. Oh shit! That's going to make it go a little bit better. Right. Yeah. The sugar water they used to make coffee wine out of fermented mix. Come in, grab a seat, make yourselves comfortable, right? We're going to roast a bit of coffee, okay?
and this nice tea as well.
It's a very different taste. I think this is what happens when you roast the coffee medium rather than roast the coffee dark. This is the sort of coffee that you would, that experts would use for grading the coffee, because when you roast it dark, all you taste is the bitterness of the coffee. And you don't need a good coffee to roast it dark. You do need a good coffee to roast it like this, yeah? We're going to take these beans, throw them in. Now, it's a dry roast, so you don't use oil, butter or water. Dry roast, yeah? Now, like toast, the longer you leave it in there, the blacker it gets, okay? Now, these green beans here, the whole idea of this is you can do this at home. Okay? Green beans you can buy on the internet, okay? Now, as I say, dry roast, no oil, no butter, no water, so you have to use a metal pan. Right. Let's put a bit more coffee in there. Right. Okay, so I say just keep the coffee moving around.
I'm the filmer now.
Had a Japanese guy did a coffee tour about 8 years ago. He was amazing. Japanese, he was the only one. It was a Saturday morning tour. Okay, he was the only one. Now, Japanese are incredibly polite, so he didn't say much. Okay, and he didn't say anything. Okay, I'd occasionally, if I was lucky, I'd get a little nod. Yeah. No questions, no nothing. So talking to a statue, you know. I told a joke, nothing. You know, I said something completely outrageous, nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. And we did the
Do you
farm.
want us to help, Teresa?
Right. So it was a fast tour, obviously, because he hadn't said anything. You know, hadn't asked any questions, hadn't had any feedback whatsoever. And we got up here for the last part of the tour. We had the coffee, and he spoke. I nearly had a heart attack. He said, do you mind if I roast the coffee?
Ah.
So I said, no, go ahead. So I say it was okay, it was 12, coming up to 12 o'clock, lunchtime, 5 o'clock UK, okay? Saturday afternoon, football score time. So I sat over there using the internet, watching the football scores come through, you know, so, yeah. And I said, just let me know when you think you're done, you know, watching the football scores. He said, I think I'm done, can you come and have a look? Came and had a look. And it was the most amazing roast I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, wow.
I know, and I looked at it and went, how the hell did you do that? I can't do that. That's amazing, that's brilliant. That's professional quality. How the hell did you do that? And he said, well, to be honest, I have had some experience. I said, what do you mean? It's roasting coffee? He said, no, stirring.
Ah.
I said, what do you mean? He said, I'm a chef. I've been classically trained in Japan.
Ah, there we
Now,
go.
he studied under a master in Japan, okay? The only thing for the first year he was allowed to do was stir.
Okay.
Wow.
And then the next year he moved up the chain. The next year he was allowed to cut up vegetables for the entire year. And he moved up the chain each year. He studied it for 12, 14 years or something like that. Now, I should have actually watched him stir rather than look at the football scores coming through. But right. Now, see, it's starting to change colour a little bit. Now, coffee's going to start popping like popcorn. What actually happens is, these have been dried to about 12%. That's 12% moisture. Means there's still moisture in the bean. It's going to boil off. The bean's actually going to crack open and the moisture comes out. Right. Pops like popcorn.
Is it going to fly everywhere?
Pardon?
Is it going to fly around?
No, no. But the beans themselves will... See, they're losing their grey and going a bit yellow in colour. See what I mean?
Yeah.
That's your blonde roast starting to come through. One second. Do you want to stir?
Yeah, I'll have a stir.
Okay. Come round. Yeah, see, look, it's gone yellowy. See,
Yeah.
your blonde sort of
Looks
coming
like
through.
wasabi peas now.
I don't know what wasabi peas are, but I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. But like this.
Cool, hey? Right, so, I'll tip these guys here.
I'm determined to be
So when
that
some
guy now.
people go for the honey
Yeah.
vibe,
Right, cool. Do you like the coffee or not?
It's really good, yeah.
It's a different taste though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot smoother, I find.
Yeah. There we go.
Thank
A
you.
bit more. Tiny bit more there, not much. How are you getting on there?
Yeah.
Oh, very nice. You got a light roast, going light to medium,
Yeah.
yeah?
Okay.
Are you a chef?
Yes.
You are?
trained in Japan, then.
I like cooking. I'm determined to beat that guy now. To get you the best roast ever.
No, it's not bad.
No?
No, you've done a good job. I hear the pops.
Yeah. Tell me if you want to take over. I'm happy doing it.
That's okay.
Okay.
I'll take that over.
I wasn't doing a good job.
No, you're doing a fine job. No. I say, you can hear the pops really starting to come through now, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't get that if they're dried
No, you get the
Right,
pops.
it's
You get the pops anyway.
regardless. Okay.
There's still the coffee will be dry to about 12% moisture. That 12% moisture needs to come out.
Right.
Okay, so. Get out. Right. Getting the popping, getting the whole thing. Coffee looks darker in the pan than it will when it comes out, so I can let it go on just for a little bit, yeah? Whoa. Right, it's starting to really pop now. Right, I'm going to turn the heat off now, it doesn't need more heat. It's cooking in its own heat. There you go. Voila, how about that roasted coffee? It's not complicated, eh?
No.
I say the whole idea is you can do this at home.
Didn't realise.
So we'll take this. Put it over here.
Good.
Looks pretty much like coffee, doesn't it? Now, looks like it's going to be a nice afternoon. Shall we head down to the farm, have a look around?
Sounds good.
Are you coming to the farm, or are you going to...
Yeah, I'll come.
You come? You sure?
Just adjust him a little bit first. So now we're heading down to the actual farm. We're gonna see where the coffee grows.
Come on out. You can come down to the farm. Okay. Okay, this is a view from our house. Rather cool view, hey?
It's amazing.
Right, now West is over there. This is a great place to watch the sun go down with a glass of wine or a beer. You have to provide the glass of wine or beer, but it's a good place to do it. Okay. If you, I say welcome, feel free to come back. If you are up here, if you're eating, the guys will expect some food, obviously.
Yeah.
Like a tourist tax. You know? If you're drinking, it's not such a problem. Well, Stanley, the Newfoundland, he's developing a bit of a taste for beer.
Oh.
And he's learnt that if he has if there's a can or bottle and he knocks it over, he can have a little drink. Okay? Right, okay. Now,
Not a little chair for babies or something?
now
It's tiny.
yeah, almost. Yes, not quite. Okay, you see there's a shack on the hill there. That's where we're going, the other side of that hill.
Oh wow, okay.
Not very far. It'll take us about 5-10 minutes to walk down there.
Oh.
Okay, not far. Right.
I guess it looks a lot further than it is.
Pardon?
I guess it looks further than it is.
Oh, it's not as far. I say the trail just goes straight, snakes almost straight down there. So.
All right.
So it looks like a road now. You'll see that the road stops at the pretty much at the bottom there, and then the last 100 meters or so is more how the trail was before. Yeah. They made it into a road only as far as the properties go. A lot of fun.
And then I'm heading back to Cali.
Palms. These are wax palms, aren't they beautiful?
Yeah.
They'll live for up to 200 years.
Wow.
They'll get to 65 meters tall.
Wow.
Now, if you're looking for stuff to do, I don't know how many days you're here and stuff like that, but okay, right. Kokora is up over that way over there. Up over this way over here on the old road to Bogota, there is a palm forest about 30 kilometers away called the Carbonera. Now the jeep drivers don't like going up there because they're gone the whole day. They'd rather do lots of short runs to Kokora or visit the coffee farms out on the hill over there. So about 8 years ago, 2 Colombian guys started up a mountain bike business. Various people are doing it now, but the original guys were Eduardo and a friend of his, and they formed a company called Salento Cycling. And what they do is they take you and the mountain bikes up by 4-wheel drive. You spend some time up there, then you hop on the mountain bikes and you go down 30 kilometers all downhill.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That's
and it is all downhill.
That's good.
The guy that used to go with them had a bike that didn't even have a chain on it.
Wow.
Sort of suggests it is pretty much all downhill. Okay?
Oh,
Now various other people are doing it. It's amazing up there. Very
Yeah.
beautiful, very special,
Okay.
and it's untouched or relatively untouched. Right.
good to know.
Okay. Right. Welcome to Finca Don Eduardo. I say it's called Don Eduardo because my name's Timothy Edward. And Don Timoteo didn't sound very Colombian, so we went with Don Eduardo.
I was wondering why your name sounded Colombian.
So I am Don Eduardo. This coffee here, okay? Now that little guy there is a coffee plant. And the other one there is a coffee plant.
Yeah.
We lost a few during COVID, okay? Now they didn't develop a cough and die. These guys basically, during COVID, lockdown was on, we hadn't got any money to pay for workers because there were no tourists coming through because everything was under lockdown, and the grass got very long. The grass got up to about here.
Wow.
And then when we cut the jungle back, we'd lost a few coffee plants here. Not certain which one of the two it is, but one of them has a darker trunk. Normally plant them in threes, 1 male, 2 females.
Okay.
That way you get fruit. Yeah. Obviously, you have three females, you don't get anything. And 3 males.
I see a bunch of bananas over there.
Yeah.
Quite beautiful, isn't it? Hey.
Yeah.
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 Now that's Armenia in it. That's Armenia in the distance over there.
Okay. Armenian.
Oh, there. Oh.
Fruit.
Yeah.
Is that
That's where you came from.
Yeah.
Staying? Or?
It's like an hour away from here. Yeah.
Okay.
Right, come through anyway. Let's see. This guy here, that's modern coffee. These are all traditional coffee plants. This guy shouldn't be here.
Right.
He's an interloper. I've got a few of them here. When the guys picked the slope, picked what should have been traditional coffee, they picked a modern at the same time, and you can't tell the seeds apart, and you can't tell the baby coffee plants apart. But as they get bigger, you can. So this guy shouldn't actually be here. But he's such a nice little coffee plant. I can't do anything about it. You know, I'm not going to pull him out and kill him.
Yeah, he looks like he's got a thicker trunk and darker leaves.
Yeah, exactly. It's more densely foliaged. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, let's have a look and see what we've got going on. Now the big tall ones here, there's a group of about 10 of them here. Those are all tea plants.
Ah.
What type
Coffee-
of tea?
Well, green and black tea are the same tea. One's fermented and one's not.
Oh.
Beyond that, I don't. You've exhausted my knowledge of tea.
Do you know which one is fermented and which one's not?
I think black is fermented and green isn't. I believe, but I'm not 100% certain. on that.
Interesting.
Right.
Those ones over there in the front of us.
Yeah, these guys all here. The first guy, that guy there, is an orange tree,
Oh.
but the others are all tea. You see where the chickens are? That's all tea.
Cool.
Right, that's what these guys here are. Okay. You can see this guy here. Look, you can see the skin just starting to come off. There's 2 leaves inside.
Oh yeah.
That comes off. That little bit there comes off. There's 2 leaves inside. Those 2 leaves open out like that, and you've got a baby coffee plant. Yeah? Okay? Now, when it gets a bit stronger, and it looks like this guy here, you've got a little green tip coming up from the middle,
Yeah.
that's when it will starts to grow. It's when you need to change how you grow your coffee. So what happens is the coffee goes into these black plastic bags. So come through, let me show you the nursery over here. Candy! Oh, poor old Candy. The girls have dressed you up again, haven't they? It's embarrassing, huh? Yeah, I know. She's security down here. Don't mess with her. Okay? Now, come and have a look. You see this guy here? Yellow.
Right.
This is the yellow variety of coffee. This variety Colombia yellow. Anyway, come through. Let's have a look. Strawberries. Lulu.
Oh,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Green and purple leaves, like the big one up there.
Yeah.
And we have coffee here. Now, this is a variety of coffee called Bourbon. Bourbon, as I was saying, comes in 4 colours: red, yellow, orange and pink.
Yeah.
We have Bourbon red down here. This is actually Bourbon yellow. My neighbour gave me a whole load of Bourbon yellow seeds.
Is there any correlation with liquor bourbon?
No, basically, there's no real relation. Bourbon, okay. The Dutch smuggled coffee out of Ethiopia. Obviously, the Ethiopians had a monopoly. They weren't interested in sharing with anyone. They smuggled it out. and it went to Amsterdam, which is not the greatest place in the world to grow Arabica coffee. They haven't got 12 meters of altitude, never mind 1,200 meters of altitude or anything else. And they kept the plants alive, and then the King of France was given a couple of plants, so it moved south a little bit. Okay, so presumably to the Palace of Versailles. And then what happened was one enterprising Frenchman brought them into the Caribbean. 18 years later, there were 18 million coffee plants around the Caribbean.
Wow.
And another enterprising Frenchman took them towards Madagascar. Now, off the coast of Madagascar, in the middle of nowhere, there's an island called Reunion Island. It's a French possession.
I heard of it.
Now, Reunion Island used to be called the island of Bourbon, after the royal family. Okay, the French royal family, and that's where Bourbon coffee adapted and became a varietal in its own right. Yeah.
Where else in the Caribbean other than Jamaica do they have coffee growing?
Oh, pretty much all over. Martinique grows a bit, all through there. Cuba grows quite a bit of coffee, all the places around there. And then the Franciscan monks brought it into South America.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so this is a variety of coffee called Bourbon. But on that, there's a variety, modern variety of coffee called Caturra, and the one at the end is Typica. Typica is the variety of coffee we saw up in Plantation. Okay, so we've got 3 different varieties of coffee growing here. These guys will stay here till they get to about 30 centimetres, about a foot tall.
Okay.
Then when they get a foot tall, you can put them in the ground to grow. Okay. Right, now let's go have
What's
a look.
growing up in those bottles up there?
I have no idea at all. Weeds, by the look of it.
Oh. Interesting.
I don't think there's anything specific going on. I say, the family that live down here, mum, dad, 3 kids, they're sort of like, it's got a nice vibe to it, the place now. It used to feel, in the old days, before these guys arrived, we had guys who worked on the farm staying down here. And the place had a bachelor pad feel to it. Here, now it's got a family sort of home to it, you know.
Nice.
Some bunnies.
There's bunnies, there's all sorts of...
Oh.
Oh, let's go through, check out the bunnies. We're going to come back and look. This is where we're drying the coffee here, but we're going to have a look at that in a moment. One move, please. Hey, rabbits.
No.
Oh, nice.
Come on.
Do we have names?
No, I don't know. They're all pets.
Okay. They're not eating.
I don't think so. I don't think. I don't think the 2 little girls. I think they're about 8 and 10. I don't think they would countenance mum and dad making a rabbit stew out of their pets. I'm pretty certain. I don't know for certain, but hang on a second. You want a little rub? I love this one here, the one with the black.
Yeah,
it looks all the dots down, you know, sort of like down his back. But anyway, come through, please. Baby chickens, be careful.
You have a baby.
Yeah, there's baby chickens all over the place. Two more here. Go on.
Thank you.
I knew it. I have to do some work.
Okay.
Shit, that's not supposed to happen. I'm the boss. Okay. Right. Okay. So, the guys have gone out, pick coffee. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So out you go. You pick your coffee into the basket. Now. Okay. Once you've weighed your coffee, there's scales there. Once the coffee's been weighed, the coffee gets tipped into the hopper here. Okay. This machine's going to take the skins off the coffee. Okay. So what we'll do is I'll tip the coffee in here. More coffee in here. Right. Right, got all of it. Right. Let's have a look. see if we've got a bit of water.
What's that for? Just give them a little
That's just to lubricate the machine.
Right.
Okay. Now, this machine's going to take the skins off the coffee. Okay. So, as I turn the handle, the copper drum will turn around. There's two cogs here, and there's a square bar in here. The square bar takes the coffee cherry, rolls against two metal strips, and the copper drum squeezes the bean open. Yeah. Skins come this side, beans come the other. Okay.
Cool.
So here we go. Not an awful lot of coffee. Okay. Right.
Okay.
Okay. Now. So we're taking the skins off the coffee, yeah?
Yep.
Now, if you're producing honey processed coffee, you just take those slimy beans and throw them in the sun to dry, yeah?
Yep.
We're producing washed Arabica coffee, so I'm going to cover the coffee in water. Okay. Now we haven't got much coffee here, so what I'll do, I'm not quite certain why they're drying coffee. Could be they've selected this coffee to actually, can I grab this? Yes I can. Right, okay, so. Where can I put it? Just on the edge here. Okay. Right, so, have a look. Right, now, anything that floats, domestic coffee, low quality coffee. Still make coffee out of it, but it's low quality coffee. So you just go in here and skim the top, yeah? I'm not going to worry about doing everything, but I'll get most of them off. Right, one more. Okay, oh, 3 more. Right, okay, now, this will go, they'll still dry this will be domestic coffee. The good stuff is there. Now see, look at the water, that's just water.
Yeah.
But look at how the sugar's coming out of the coffee into the water, yeah? So the coffee will sit and soak here for 12 to 36 hours. All the sugar's going to come out of the coffee into the water.
Does anyone do anything with the sugar that comes off of it?
No, you don't. Well, it's a sugar water. We just drain it away. It's good for the plants.
Okay.
But as I say, they used to make a coffee wine out of fermented mix. They still make it, but it's a more serious process these days.
No one like extracts it for like coffee sugar or something like that?
No. No, you can't really. Right, so you've actually seen how. Now that's a small amount of coffee. They've only picked a little bit off this. Oh, hey, you're a nice big bean. Right, and there's. Right, there we go. Right, okay, so. Made some sense, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, now. What we're going to do. 24 pictures here, everything you ever wanted to know about coffee. I'm afraid to ask in all 24 photos. So we're going to run through all 24, which time you guys will be experts. Okay. Most of this you already know. Okay? So, Starting point, washed and dried coffee. Also, you can also put honey processed coffee. They will both grow. So you throw them into the ground and you grow them like we were doing over there. Okay?
Yep.
Now it says there, phosphoro, match. Looks like a match. Yeah, coffee bean on a stick. It says there 4 weeks. You can forget that 4 weeks. That's 4 weeks Colombian time.
Okay.
There's 2 times in Colombia. There's English time, there's Colombian time. Colombian time is when you go to the bus station. You say, how long is that bus from Salento to Medellin, or from Medellin to Salento, or whatever? And they go, oh, 6 to 8 hours. It's never 6 to 8 hours, it's 10 to 12 hours minimum. That is Colombian time. English time, on the other hand, is when you give up on the buses, you fly. You go, you get your boarding pass says 12:50, gate 3. You can be pretty certain sometime around 12:50 you board that plane. Okay? That's Colombian time. Look, Bonnie's eating her avocado.
Oh.
See,
She eats a seed and everything?
She likes avocados. There's a time where there's a few avocados falling off the tree with a bit of rain. So she's found an avocado in one of them. And she's just having a little. Okay. She likes her avocado.
I heard the seeds have more nutrients than the flesh.
Pardon?
I heard that the seeds have more nutrients than the flesh.
It may well be. She won't. She'll leave the seed alone, but she'll eat. There you go. She's working her way through the avocado. Anyway, right. Okay. So, parchment protects it like a cocoon. Green bean, silver skin, change into 2 big leaves. Parchment comes off. 2 leaves open up. 16 weeks, not 8 weeks. You get yourself what they call a chapola. That's when you put it in the ground to grow. Okay, so you dig yourself a nice big, so like you fill these black plastic bags, 50-50 mix, good black soil, rich fertilizer. Fill 50-100 bags at a time, go through a stick, poke a hole in the centre point of each one, put straight root system in, get a bag, a couple of squeezes, you transplant it to a coffee. Now coffee's going to spend up to a year in that bag, in that nursery. So it gets to about 30 centimetres tall, then you can big enough for it to survive on its own, you can put it in the ground to grow. That's Tonio transplanting coffee for us there. Okay? Now, then it's a question of waiting. Anyway, another 2 to 4 years.
Yeah.
Coffee doesn't happen fast. Until the plant gets big enough, you get some flowers, some buds, some coffee cherries. Yeah? Usually picking coffee cherries when they're nice and red or yellow or orange or pink, like we did there. Out you go, you pick your coffee into the basket. Basket gets full, fill up the sack. When the sack gets full, when you finish for the day, weigh the coffee, put it through the machine here. Skins come one side, beans come the other. Soak the coffee. If it's washed Arabica coffee, you soak the coffee. If it's honey processed coffee, you just take those slimy beans, throw them into the sun to dry. And if it's naturally processed coffee, you don't go anywhere near this machine. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay? Right. So, you've seen beans come through one side, skims come through the other. That gives you slimy coffee. Put it in the water. Soak it 12 to 36 hours. And then you put the coffee in the sun to dry. Yeah. Now, in principle, you can dry coffee in an oven. The problem with ovens is they're expensive. It's very easy to start roasting your coffee by mistake. So most people dry the coffee the traditional way in the sun. Usually on concrete. There's concrete because it absorbs the heat really well, releases the heat very evenly. November, big harvest in Colombia. Every bit of concrete has coffee drying on it. It's great. Regularly see coffee drying on roads. Yeah, the road is concrete. Not major roads, but minor roads. Okay, so what they do is they put oil drums, put the coffee out in the tarpaulin and dry the coffee in the sun. Ollie, Bonnie, no. That's right, Bonnie. You take a seat. You get back to finishing off your avocado. That's a good Bonnie. Yeah. So basically, I say put oil drums beginning, oil drums end, coffee out in tarpaulin, and then when it starts to rain, you cover the coffee with the 4 corners of the tarpaulin. Yeah. See coffee drying on patios, roads. 10 years ago, I saw coffee drying all over a school playground.
Oh wow.
I know, the kids couldn't play on their playground. Their playground was 9 inches.
Comes first.
9 inches deep in coffee. You see coffee drying absolutely everywhere.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Now we had 2 ways of drying coffee. One way was the house here.
Yeah.
This house here has a flat concrete roof. Wooden border on all 4 sides. Metal rail running on this side, metal rail running on the other side. and the metal rail continued at the back of the house on posts. So the roof was this long, the metal rail was this long. And then the middle, slopey part of the roof was on wheels. And you could push the roof open along the rail. Throw your coffee in the sun to dry, like a football stadium, yeah? So have a look. See, there's the concrete, there's the wooden border, metal rail, wheel, and the roof would roll open and closed, yeah? The problem we had was at the back of the house we had subsidence. The rails went from this to this, so we had to take the rails up temporarily. So round the corner, we have concrete base, bamboo triangle, transparent plastic like a hothouse for drying the coffee. Yeah, okay. So that's a picture of the roof. That's a picture of the triangle. Yeah. Chased around the house about 4 times before it calmed down. Hey, come in, please. Right. Oh, we have coffee. Now, have a feel of the coffee.
Dry.
Yeah, light though, very light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the coffee at the end on the left there, that is honey processed coffee. The coffee on the right is the stuff that floated when we washed the coffee. Yeah? Now the coffee, the honey processed coffee and this last one here are both from up in plantation. Okay, that field of coffee we're looking at. Most of the coffee here has come from the farm. This farm has 4 types of coffee, as I was saying, 2 traditional, 2 modern. Now, the coffee is what is euphemistically called by Colombians revueltos. That means scrambled like your eggs, meaning it's not one pure varietal of coffee, it's a mixture of different ones. So because it's all mixed up, we pick it all together. Okay? So that coffee there is a pure varietal of coffee that's come from up in plantation, and the other one that's washed and that's pure from up in plantation, that's honey processed. Yeah? So the idea is a little bit further down the line, you'll be able to come and have a cup of washed and a cup of honey from the same area and see if you can taste the difference between the two. Yeah?
Yeah.
Right. The coffee at the end there, that coffee there is geisha coffee, and the rest of this is all coffee from plantation. From the farm down here. Okay.
So that's the expensive stuff. So
In principle, that's the expensive. But it's geisha from Panama. That's $3,000 a kilo, not geisha from Salento.
Yeah.
Okay. Or Armenia. It's actually the plants originally came from Armenia.
So what's the best quality coffee that you can get from around here?
Difficult to say. It's subjective. It depends really on the individual. As I say, my neighbour will tell you, Terence, whose property we were looking at there in my monitor, he'll tell you that honey processed coffee is the best coffee. I personally don't like honey processed coffee. I prefer washed. So everyone is different. Everyone has a different opinion. My favourite down here is actually bourbon. But I haven't had a cup of bourbon in a long time because we started off and we were picking it individually, but now we pick it all together. So I haven't had a cup of bourbon for a long time. But yeah, it really depends.
Where's the best place to buy like the local coffee from here?
If you're buying coffee, okay, one of the things to look for, sounds really stupid, but one of the things to look for is actually the bag of coffee. Okay? Most coffee is sold in bags that heat sealed top and bottom. That means, great, when you take it on a plane, the pressure inside the bag is greater than the pressure outside the bag. That means the bag will probably pop open on the plane. Okay? Now, they get round the problem by putting the coffee in a bag with a valve in it. That looks like a circular embossed symbol, but it means you can squeeze the bag and you can smell the coffee. Okay? These bags are much more expensive than average bags. So what it means is you wouldn't take a crap coffee and put it in a really expensive bag. So the fact that it's in a bag with a valve in it is an indication it's probably a better grade coffee than most of the stuff that you would normally drink.
Okay.
Now, if hopefully some of what we talked about will sink in, and for example, there should be more information on the pack that makes some sense now. It should tell you, for example, whether coffee is being washed, honey, or naturally processed. It should also tell you how how dark a roast the coffee's had. Sometimes it has the words light, medium, dark. Sometimes it has the word, has a scale from 0 to 5.
Can we find green coffee beans?
Pardon? Yeah, there'd be a 0.
What are they sold around here?
I don't know whether green coffee is actually sold around here. Green beans you can buy, in theory, anywhere where they roast coffee will have green beans for sale. Yeah. Okay. Now, as I say, normally it's a scale of 0 to 5. The coffee we drank up in Plantation would be about a 2.
Okay.
Sometimes there's a scale from 0 to 10. That coffee would be about a 4. Yeah. Okay. Right, now it should have an expiry date on the coffee. That doesn't really mean much. Expiry date's one of these. Really you want a roasted date, but no one's crazy enough to put a roasted date on the coffee. They put an expiry date on the coffee. Okay, usually anywhere from 3 to 9 months expiry. Everyone has a different opinion how long the coffee's actually good for.
So it's hard to say if it's not like a standard amount when it was really roasted.
There's no hard and fast rules. Everyone has a different opinion on it, so it really depends on what you're after.
Okay.
Okay. Guys, normally I'd say we're going to go back up. We're going to roast some coffee and drink some coffee, but we've already roasted it and already drunk it, so we don't actually have to do that. Now, I walk up the hill much slower than most people. I'm old.
Arriving back from this trail, I'm a little out of breath, super uphill, and with this 20-pound baby. Whew. So that was a really, really good tour. Really thorough. We got to see the whole process, and it was really explained really well. The different types of coffee, how it's grown, how it's extracted, how it's roasted, everything. And now we're just gonna head back into the town, find some good vegan food, and have some dinner. Yeah, let's do that. Made it up the trail. That was steep. And again, he's just chilling. He just got to enjoy the ride. So it looks like we have arrived at our parque principal. The restaurant is that way. This trip was super spontaneous, and that's one of my favorite types of trips to take. I was in Armenia, and I asked my brother what he wanted me to bring him from Colombia for a late birthday gift. I was headed back to Canada for my sister's wedding in a couple weeks, and he was like, you know what, I don't really know that much about Colombia. So I thought about it, and I said, you know what, you're a big coffee drinker, and Colombia is known to have the best coffee, so I'm gonna go to the coffee region just to get you a bag of the finest Colombian coffee. So this restaurant I chose for dinner was one of the only vegetarian restaurants I could find in Salento, and it was kind of average, to be honest. The mushroom ceviche with mashed potatoes was actually pretty delicious, but the pasta was very underwhelming. As somebody who has studied Italian cuisine pretty deeply and understands how to make it really delicious, this pasta definitely could have been better if they cooked it with the pasta water, the water from Nagads. But all in all, it hit the spot after a long day of checking out that coffee farm. And Elian enjoyed the guanabana juice with me. He was about 5.5 months. Sorry guys, I'm filming this as he's in the background and he is so energetic right now. I don't know if you can hear him. He wants to add to the voiceover too. But anyways, we shared a guanabana juice together. This was when he was only just having juice and different fruits, obviously with no sugar. He wasn't quite ready for eating the same foods as me yet, but now he eats everything. I found the coffee for my brother. This is local cafe from Salento, and it's medium roast. It costs 500 grams, and it cost me about 10 Canadian dollars. So now we're just heading to the bus terminal. It's a little bit of a walk. We're gonna head back to Armenia. One more thing about the coffee. Just like I was taught, this is how I decided which one to get. Well, part of the reason, because it has that little hole in the bag, just like Don Eduardo was talking about. You can smell it. That means it's good quality coffee. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to my video. and I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, smash that like button. That just tells me that you enjoyed the video so I can continue making content like this. Hit that subscribe button and comment down below what did you like most about this video, and I will see you next time. Bye.